Okay, hi guys. Finally, a reason to sit in my vintage dome chair and yap about things. Is the sound better here? Or is it better when I do this? We don't know. We'll find out. Hi guys. If you haven't been to my YouTube channel, welcome. I'm just going to talk about stuff. I'm a Canadian living in Los Angeles, and I love to give bits of advice, but I also hate when people give bad advice. So I'm going to talk about this is the worst advice you can give to a single person, particularly if you found your person like pre online dating like 10 years ago. And I think some of the worst advice that people can give you is they'll always be like, oh, you know what? Honestly, stop looking. Just stop looking. It'll just come to you when you stop looking. So just stop looking. And I'm going, okay, guess what? I'm not looking in this dome chair, okay? Nobody's coming in this dome chair. I also think, too, that people give advice based on the time that they were in. So it's like, yeah, if like it's your parents, it's like, yeah, well, they simply, like, literally anyone prior to, I would say, like, I don't know, I want to say like 20 years ago. Prior to that, anybody was getting married when they got pregnant. That was just simply what it was. It was like, well, I met your father and then I got pregnant at 21 and then we got married. So, once again, like they became like a bunch of other options for women and they could like get jobs and stuff. That's part of it. People were like, well, we don't necessarily have to get married as soon as we get pregnant. We also have like more freedom of choice when it comes to pregnancy and all of that. So, okay, there's that. So now, do I want that? No, I don't want that. I like having freedom of choice. I like having freedom in general or whatever, right? But there is a certain freedom in limitation. So if you were like, well, this is my only option, I don't really have a lot of other jobs or a lot of other things to do, you would maybe be programmed to feel that way. So you maybe just would have made that choice. Who knows? We don't really know. But the a notion of like self actualization, even therapy, like therapy didn't even really come around until the 80s. I know I'm from the talk show generation. So it was like, I remember people being like, inner child? What's that? Having feelings like prior to like the last couple of generations, most people were like living before a war, in a war, after a war. Guess what? We're back. We're back in that zone, right? And they were like either going through like a depression. They were more worried about basic needs. So the idea of like self-actualization, what do I want to be when I grow up? Who do I want to be? All of that stuff wasn't things that people could really consider. So this idea of what I want to do in life, and still for a lot of other countries in the world, I again live in the US and I'm from Canada, like when you're worried about basic needs, you're not necessarily like prioritizing your dreams, okay? And you're certainly not prioritizing love in partnership, right? Like some cultures don't prioritize that. They think of marriage as more like contractual, like something that is like a unification of families, and there's all these other things. But the idea of like fairy tale, fall in love with the person, stay in love for your whole life, I would say is like a pretty like North American view towards marriage, and it's pretty new. You know what I mean? So anyway, that idea of like just wait for it, it will come. It maybe won't come. It maybe doesn't come for everybody, especially in this new society where everybody's ideas of dating and everybody's ideas of relationships are different. Also, I find that very annoying because I just want to say that like proximity is a thing, right? Like, so you often date people like in school, when you're in high school and college or work. Then when they started saying like, okay, it might be inappropriate to date coworkers because of power dynamics, okay, that's out. Okay, now again, we're in a society, people are drinking less, people are online more, okay? Your chances of like meeting someone, going out are really like lessened, okay? So this idea of like worse than the idea of like do nothing, just wait for it, it'll come, is when you're ready, it will come. When you're ready, like when you've done the work, when you've done the work, that's when, life will reward you. This makes people feel like it's their fault, number one. Number two, there are a lot of people who haven't done the work and who are not ready, who have relationship after relationship. Okay. I'm not even going to get into like whether they're like codependent or this or that, but it's like, I've been in love several times in my life, and when I fell in love, I was an absolute lunatic. I was, in fact, probably one of the worst versions of myself. Didn't control my emotions at all. Had no therapy in my life, nothing. So, and yet I was able to find partnership, and I would say that, like in periods of my life where I've been like a much better person and feeling great, absolutely solo. So, this idea that a relationship is a reward for good mental health ain't true either. Okay. You can be in good mental health. You can be in the best mental health and be single, and you could be in the worst mental health and be in a relationship. So that's like, it's also a very annoying thing to say to people. Because it's like, I know we want like a problem solution type thing. Like, I know we want to be like, there's got to be a reason. There's got to be a reason. There's no reason. Sometimes there's no reason. I don't know. Listen, if you were going to ask me why I was single, I would have some theories. Listen, I'd have some theories, whatever. Too much, too big, too bold, too loud, who knows? For the general population, for the masses, like I know why the majority of men wouldn't date me, but there's a couple who will. There's a couple who will. There's a couple who like this body shape. There's a couple who like this big old mouth of mine. There's a couple who will. And quite frankly, you only need a couple. And you only need one at a time, but you only need a couple throughout life. So it's like no matter what your personality is, it's like you're someone's cup of tea. If you are liked by too many people, that means you're not being truly yourself. Like, because the only way to be popular amongst everybody is you have to be a little bit watered down version. Even the most popular celebrities are always going to have a section of people who absolutely detest them for the very reasons that other people love them. So we all are somebody's cup of tea. We're all mostly not everyone else's cup of tea. It's just a matter of finding them, and that I don't know. I think that might come down to luck. I do feel like online dating has like changed things because you get so much information making eye contact with someone, and they even say like smelling them. Whoopsies, because you smell pheromones and stuff. So you could have like all of these amazing chats with countless people online, but once you come face to face, you don't know anything until you come face to face. So people used to criticize like meeting someone at the bar because they would be like, well, you're not going to meet your forever person at a bar, at a debaucherous place like the bar where you're drinking. But actually, you're going to learn so much more information making eye contact with someone at the bar than you would online, because there's just so many biological things that you don't know speaking to someone online, even if you Zoom chat with them. You have to see them, and more importantly, you have to smell them. Yikes! So this would be my advice to college kids or college age kids or younger generation people. It would be like, go out to the bar, especially the college bars, because the college bars are going to have like-minded people. The college bars are going to have people. It doesn't matter. Don't judge people who are partying. You're supposed to be partying. You're having a good time. You're young. But these are also people who are like, maybe have similar goals to you if they're in college or like studying things or whatever, right? So I think going out and meeting people at the bar is a perfect way to meet someone. Now, when you're older, maybe it's more of a lounge. I don't know. But listen, what do I know? I am single. So if you have a wonderful uncle, or a kind man with kind eyes who likes comedy, then guess what? Send them to my YouTube page here. Okay, so I'm going to be doing more yapping in my cool 60s chair, in my cool 60s dress. I have a couple of them, so I'm not always wearing the same one. And we'll see. If you are bored and you feel like listening to me go on about stuff, we're trying it out. All right, bye, guys.